Good morning, children. Once again, welcome to online series of lectures in chemistry for standard 12th. Last time we had studied nomenclature rules and some few examples. Let us continue studying some more examples. If you see, we have written two structures on the board. That is 2-bromopropane. In this case, the second carbon is having the second position and CH3 either from this side or this side. You can write down. So 1, 2 and 3, and that's why it is 2-bromopropane. If we go to the next structure, it is CH3, there's a branch there, then CH2, and I, that is iodine. So numbering starts from the iodine, so it is 1 here, 2 here, 3. On the third carbon atom there is methyl, and the last carbon it is CH3, the fourth carbon atom, and that's what is 1-iodo 3-methyl butane. Further, if you go to this structure, the third structure, if you see here, CH2Cl, so this becomes the first carbon. The second carbon is here. Between second carbon and the third carbon there is a double bond. So CH double bond CH single bond CH3. So in all there are 4 carbon, and on the first carbon there is chlorine, and that's why it is 1-chloro. There is a double bond between the second carbon and the third carbon, and that is but-2-ene, and that's why it is 1-chloro-but-2-ene. The next structure, if you see, there are in all 4 carbon atoms, and that's why the base name is butane. But there is a triple bond, and that's why the base name changes from butane ene becomes yne. There is a halogen on the first carbon atom, that is CH2Br, and that's why it is 1-bromo 2-but, that is but-2-ine. So 1-bromo but-2-ine. The cyclic carbon, that is cyclic haloarenes. Here if you see, there is a benzene molecule, and on the any of the carbon atom, in this case you can consider this as 1, yes, 2, 3, 4. So it is 1-bromobenzene or bromobenzene. Since there is only one substituent on benzene, we call it as bromobenzene. Here in this case, there are 2 substituents on the benzene, and both are bromine. And since both are bromine, we use the terms dibromo. And if you see the position number, either from this side 1 or this side 1. If you see in ortho, meta and para position, they are opposite to each other, and that's why it is a para position. But since this is IUPAC nomenclature, we use the numbers. So you say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it is 1,4-dibromobenzene. These are the few examples which we studied with regard to IUPAC nomenclatures of halogen derivatives of alkanes, that is with regard to haloalkanes and haloarenes. Let us now go to the next topic of this chapter, halogen derivatives, that is methods of preparation of alkyl halides. We can prepare alkyl halides from alcohols by replacing one of the hydroxyl group, definitely it is monohydroxy alcohols, one of the hydroxyl group by halogen atom. Halogen may be chlorine, bromine or iodine. The first reaction with haloacids. Haloacids are nothing but HCl, HBr or HI. These are known as haloacids. Let us study the reactivity of these alcohols towards these haloacids. Tertiary alcohols are more reactive than secondary, secondary are more reactive than primary alcohols. If you see the reactivity of halogen towards alcohols, hydrogen hydride is more reactive than hydrogen bromide, and hydrogen bromide is more reactive than hydrogen chloride. In general, if you study the reactions of this preparation of alkyl halides from alcohols, you take an alcohol where R is an alkyl group, maybe ethyl, methyl, propyl, anyone, and O is a hydroxyl group, OH. When this alcohol is treated with HX, any halide, hydrogen halide or haloacid, where X can be chlorine, bromine or iodine. So here HX, there is a simple substitution of hydroxyl group by a halogen group. If you see here, this R is connected to hydroxyl, but if you see in the product, this R is been substituted by X, that is halogen, and which Rx is nothing but hydrogen halide. We would say alkyl halide in general, and the byproduct is water. How we are getting water? OH plus this H becomes H2O. The second method of preparation of alkyl halide is by Groves process. In Groves process, we use Lucas reagent. What is Lucas reagent? ZnCl2. We use anhydrous ZnCl2. So we take an alcohol, treat with any acid, in particular here we use HCl, hydrogen chloride, and we get a substitution reaction where OH is being substituted by Cl and we get RCl, that is alkyl chloride, and the byproduct is OH plus H plus, OH minus plus H plus, we get water. So here you get alkyl chloride. The next reaction, the method of preparation is reaction with HBr. Now hydrogen bromide, we require sodium bromide and sulfuric acid as a catalyst, and this is being carried out by heating sodium bromide and sulfuric acid heated, we get HBr, and this HBr when treated with alcohol gives us a substituted product, that is alkyl bromide. As we have seen in the earlier reaction, this Cl is here which is substituting OH. Similarly, this Br is substituting this hydroxyl group and we get alkyl bromide, and the byproduct is water. The third reaction is with hydrogen halide. The hydrogen halide means Hi, that is hydrogen iodide. Here ROH, that is alcohol treated with hydrogen iodide. Hydrogen iodide we get by using the catalyst NaI, sodium iodide with H3PO4. Here we get substitution similar reaction where R is an alkyl group, where hydroxyl is being substituted by iodine, and here you get alkyl halide and water. Now all these three reactions, if you see, one is chlorine, one is bromine, and one is iodine. So by this method we can prepare alkyl halides, that is HCl, HBr and Hi. Here are a few examples with related to the same type of reactions. Here ethyl alcohol is there, which is a primary alcohol treated with HCl in presence of anhydrous ZnCl2 as a catalyst, we get ethyl chloride and water. If you take the secondary alcohol, here there is a hydroxyl group where OH is connected to the second carbon atom, and that's why we call it as isopropyl alcohol, or if you see the IUPAC name, we can call it as propane 2-ol. When we treat it with HCl, again here you get ZnCl2, here you get isopropyl chloride where the hydroxyl group is being substituted by Cl and water is a byproduct. In the third example, you will see a tertiary butyl alcohol where the hydroxyl group is attached to the tertiary carbon atom, and in this, when you treat with HCl, you get a tertiary butyl chloride. So in simple conditions, hydroxyl group is substituted by chlorine and you get tertiary butyl chloride and byproduct as water. If you compare all these three reactions, primary, secondary and tertiary, primary requires anhydrous ZnCl2, secondary requires ZnCl2, but tertiary requires no catalyst. So in short, tertiary is more reactive than secondary, and secondary is more reactive than primary. Or otherwise, the most reactive alcohol is tertiary, then comes less reactive is secondary, and least reactive is primary. If you compare to the bromides, this is ethyl alcohol primary. We have ethyl alcohol treated with sodium bromide and sulfuric acid in heat. We get ethyl bromide here. It should be, sorry, by mistake it is Cl, but it should be Br. So here it should be ethyl bromide, CH3, CH2, Br plus water. The next reaction is by using phosphorus halides. Now what is this phosphorus halides? Means these are the halides. We have phosphorus trichloride, phosphorus pentachloride, and so on. Now here X means any halogen. In particular, it could be Cl, or Br, or any other halogens. But here it would be only chlorine, PCl3 and PCl5 we are dealing with. Here if you take an alcohol, treat with phosphorus trichloride, PX3, you will get alkyl halide and S3PO3. S3PO3 is nothing but phosphorus acid. Secondly, if you take an alcohol, treat with PCl5, we get RCl, that is alkyl chloride, HCl and POCl3. Now here in this reaction, when you are taking phosphorus trichloride, you require 3 molecules of alcohol. This is very important. But when you are taking with phosphorus pentachloride, you require 1 molecule of alcohol. Here are few examples. Ethyl alcohol treated with PCl3, you get ethyl chloride and phosphorus acid, S3PO3. Here there is C2H5OH is being substituted by Cl, and here 3 Cl are there, and that's why there is balancing of this 3 chlorine, and S3PO3 is there. Balance. Now, what would be the reaction? What would be the reaction if, this is for your assignment, what would be the action of PCl3 on isopropyl alcohol? Please try this reaction at home as a practice. The next reaction is phosphorus pentachloride. If you see in this reaction, phosphorus pentachloride, treat with ethyl alcohol, you will get ethyl chloride, that is simple, one of the chlorine is been substituting hydroxyl group from alcohol, OH is been substituted by 1 Cl, remaining is 4 Cl, so 1 Cl is gone, so 2 Cls are gone, and 3 Cls are here, so that's why POCl3. This is POCl3. So you get ethyl alcohol plus HCl plus POCl3. So for practice, action, what will be the action of phosphorus pentachloride PCl5 on isopropyl alcohol? Try this reaction at home. The next method of preparation is by using thionyl chloride. Now in the earlier reaction, we could prepare chlorine, bromine and iodine halo acids, or I would say alkyl halides of having chlorine, bromine and iodine. But in this reaction, or by this reaction, we can only prepare chloride derivatives. By using thionyl chloride, that is SOCl2, we take alcohol, ROH, treat with SOCl2, we get RCl, that is alkyl halide, SO2 gas plus HCl gas. This thionyl chloride reacts with straight chain primary alcohols to give alkyl chlorides. It reacts with only straight chain. The byproduct obtained by this method is R gases. If you see in the reaction, we have shown the up arrow. So SO2 gas is there and HCl gas is there. There is no need to put extra efforts on its separation. No need of separation because it is all gaseous. So RCl is obtained in a pure form, and whatever the byproducts are there, they are in a gaseous form. So they are automatically separated in this reaction. Therefore, in this method is preferred for preparation of alkyl chloride in large quantity, and that's why ethyl chloride alcohol, when treated with SOCl2, that is thionyl chloride, you get ethyl chloride, HCl gas and SO2 gas. Now what will be the action of thionyl chloride on isopropyl alcohol? So this is again a homework for you, that is you have to write down the reaction for action of thionyl chloride on isopropyl alcohol. Here are some few examples which I have given to summarize. You have to identify the product of the following reactions. We will discuss these reactions in detail. If you see in the first reaction, methane is there, treated with chlorine. So what will the product? The product will be CH3Cl plus HCl, that is methyl chloride and hydrogen chloride. The second reaction is CH3CH double bond CH2 treated with HCl. Now here what will be the reactions? There is CH3, CH and Cl2. So where H and where Cl will go? H is H plus, Cl is Cl minus. So this ionization takes place and there will be addition reaction here where Cl will go on the second carbon atom. On the second carbon, so halo acid is there, and we know Markovnich's rule. What does Markovnich's rule shows that when during the addition of unsymmetrical reagent to an unsymmetrical alkene, the negative part of the unsymmetrical reagent, in this case it will be Cl, will go to that carbon atom across the double bond having less number of hydrogen. So in this case it will go to CH, that is the second carbon atom here, and that's why we'll get CH3, CH, Cl, CH3, and that is nothing but it will, so isopropyl alcohol, according to my isopropyl, it is not isopropyl alcohol, but we'll get isopropyl chloride. Now here in the third reaction it is CH3, CH double bond CH2. Here we are adding HBr, but there on the arrow the condition is peroxide. So it is peroxide effect. We also call it as Mayo-Karash effect or Karash effect or anti-Markovnich's rule. So here in this reaction the HBr, that is Br minus, will go to that carbon atom which is having more number of hydrogen. So here we will get N-propyl bromide, that is also known as peroxide effect. If you go to the fourth reaction, that is CH2 some double bond CH single bond CH3, here Br2 is there which is CCl4. Here both, if you see, one halogen will go here, one halogen will go here, and it will form a vicinal dihalide. So it will form a propylene dibromide. So these are the few examples which we studied with regard to the earlier examples. If you see here, we can also obtain alkyl halides from hydrocarbons. So you take methane and treat with chlorine in sunlight or UV light, we get methyl chloride. Here it is action of hydrogen halide to alkene. So here you get ethene treated with HCl. So since both are symmetrical, it's a symmetrical alkene. So whether hydrogen goes on the first carbon atom or the second carbon doesn't make any difference. And here it is HCl. So here it will form CH3, CH2, Cl, ethyl chloride. The third is CH3, CH double bond CH2. Here it is an unsymmetrical alkene. So here HBr, that is unsymmetrical alkene, will add to this unsymmetrical alkene, unsymmetrical halo, I would say unsymmetrical reagent will add to unsymmetrical alkene, that is propane. So here Br will go to that carbon atom having less number of hydrogen, and that's why we'll get mixture of products, that is 2-bromopropane. So Br is here, which is a major one, and we'll also get 1-bromopropane, which is a minor one. So here we'll get 80% and here we'll get 20%. Now here if you go to next, that is propane treated with HBr, but the condition is hydrogen peroxide, that is anti-Markovnich's rule, or also called as peroxide effect, or also called as Mayo-Karash effect or Mayo effect. Here you will get CH3, CH, Br, CH3, and here you get 2-bromopropane as a minor product, which is 20%, and 1-bromopropane as a major product, which is 80%. So I think we will stop here and we will continue next time the further topic of this chapter. Thank you. Have a nice day. Stay safe.